Yo, 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 welcome back to the Out of the Box Show. I'm John Wallace alongside my co-host James Luffy, and we made it through Mardi Gras and opening weekend of LSU baseball. Could the weekend have been any better, Luffy?
Absolutely not. Beautiful weather on Saturday and Sunday. Friday was
Friday
a little cold. We'll get to that, but
rough. We're into the midweek now. We're the hangover has subsided. We're at hump day. We're already looking forward to this weekend's hangover.
That's right.
But we have a packed show for you guys. LSU sweeps Western Michigan in opening weekend at Alex Box. Lot to get to on that. LSU has some dogs. We knew that going in, and we need to keep the train rolling. And by the way, dominated the midweek game as well. Midweek games do matter, apparently. Going to break it all down and then look ahead to this coming weekend as LSU goes to a little round robin action, playing some Texas, some Kansas. I believe
we play Texas on Tuesday. We play Kansas State Friday.
Kansas State revenge game.
Right? So that would be Friday. Yeah,
Is that a revenge game, Luffy?
Yes, from football. Kansas State. Then we play Iowa and Sam Houston State.
So Luffy has done research on all four of those teams, and he's going to give a full
detailed report.
Stick
around for that
on all four of those teams. But before we get to all that, I want to give a huge shout out to the Boot Crew Media Network. Make sure to follow Boot Crew Media on bootcrewmedia.com and on social media at Boot Crew Media. It's a great time for content, and Boot Crew Media has you covered. We're gonna talk a little LSU football news that kind of popped up over Mardi Gras that Boot Crew Media reported, and that's where I got the news from. That's how I found out that it happened, so I could prepare for this show. BootCrewMedia.com and on social media at Boot Crew Media. Also, one of the best things you can ever do in life is to ride on a float in Mardi Gras. It's one of the greatest things you can do. Luffy did it. I did it. Rory did it this past Sunday. And I had an absolute ball. I don't care how much money I lost. I don't care how dumb I looked. I don't care how many beads that I had that the paint wore off on my hand. Did you have that? Like whenever you got off the float, like after throwing so many,
you just smell like a bead.
You just smell like plastic. Like my hand almost turned to plastic. But it was the greatest thing I ever did. And one of the greatest things you can ever do is get Blaine Loop to be your realtor. Blaine wants to be your friend, your neighbor, and your agent. Make sure to call or text him at 504-858-0031 for all your housing needs. If you're looking in New Orleans, if you liked Mardi Gras, if you came for the first time and don't want to leave, call Blaine. He'll find you a house, and then you can just stay there forever and ride in every parade every year for Mardi Gras. Make sure to call or text Blaine Loop at 504-858-0031 for all your housing needs. And Friday, James, opening day. We said we were going to be at the box.
Yep.
We showed up to the box, and we were underdressed.
Yes.
At least I was.
I actually thought, like, I was going to be okay. I had, we both had like little light jackets on. John said he was going to get hot at first.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say you were welcome to say what I said when I got out of the car.
Well, I actually thought I was going to be okay too. So jokes on both of us. We walked in. The first thing I did was buy a beanie.
No
lie.
Had
to. I mean, it was freezing. We sat in the outfield. We thought the sun would be better and maybe we would be blocked by the wind. That was not the case. It was freezing cold. There was a kid out there in a shirt and a t-shirt. I had 3 layers on and a beanie, and
he must have either lost a bet or thought he was like the biggest hard ass ever. Right?
Yeah. So and then Tigers start off, and Thomas Tanks gets hurt on
first inning.
His first RBI, first at bat, up the middle, slides back to the bag, gets hurt. So now we're freezing, and we think Tommy Tanks has a serious injury. Luckily, he's not seriously injured. We did move seats, so things got better as the game went along.
If we'd have stayed in those seats, things would have continued to go bad.
No, yes. It was very cold. I felt honestly bad for Western Michigan because they had to take a bus there. But
and they were probably expecting to come down here to like 75 weather, and they get down here and the wind is just whipping. And I mean, it was like 44 in the wind chill. I mean, they moved the game up to 3 o'clock because it was going to be cold.
Yeah, and like I get why they moved the game up. I know a lot of people were mad about that. It was freezing. I do think actually more people definitely would have been at the day game.
So I mean, if people get mad about that, would they go sit out there and freeze, knowing that it would have been worse at 6 or 6:30 or whatever time it was supposed to be at?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. But anyway, Paul Skeens was really, really good. Threw mostly fastball. Didn't really need much else, but was pretty efficient. He threw 98 pitches and 98 miles an hour on his 98th pitch.
Yep.
And it was cold to be throwing that hard. It was really cold. I think that velo's going to creep up, but he looked really good. I mean, 12 strikeouts, which is the most since Landon Marceau did it in 2021. But yeah, Western Michigan looked overmatched. I mean, when he was pitching the first couple innings, the ball basically was hitting Brady Neal, our catcher's mitt, and then they were swinging after. So a definite mismatch, but that's what you want to see out of your ace for LSU, just domination.
Yeah, and I mean, and it felt good also to see our relief come in and do well. We got to see Christian Little, the transfer from Vandy, came in 2 innings, 3 strikeouts, got the job done. And then the closer Micah Bucknam, who I was not so familiar with, he came in for an inning, had 1 strikeout, and closed out the game for us. And that's what it's going to be. I mean, it's crazy that this guy Bucknam could end up being the closer. Like these guys coming in, this team is so talented that you don't even know where you're going to be looking for your next man.
I think that was we didn't get to watch on Sunday. We watched a little Saturday. We were riding. But the most exciting thing for me is just seeing all the new pitching. Like we know Dylan Cruz, who was 2 for 3 the first night, can hit. And then another good thing was the defense. We haven't made an error so far in 4 games. Ben Napolt slid over to third since Tommy White went out with an injury. And he's done a solid job over there, not being his starting position. And that's been, an uplift knowing, if somebody does go down, you have a good defensive replacement and starter at second, or we'll see what they do with Dugas, but he was solid. And, speaking of Dugas, he was really good. He's hit 2 home runs already this season, and came up clutch again. And yeah, the first game was just 10-0, pretty much just domination.
Yeah, and I mean, I think if you're gonna have some takeaways from the first game, it's like right before Tanks got hurt, I believe Morgan flied out, I think, but he batted 5th. Every batter basically got on base, and we go up 2 runs in the first inning of the first game. It's wall to wall, first to 9th inning. This team is still competing, and we're going to get to it, but that was really evident in the midweek a game against Southern yesterday afternoon. And another takeaway is that Paul Skeens is just a massive dude.
Yeah, for sure.
And I mean, he in my mind has already, you don't want to jump the gun and all that, but he will be your Friday guy for the entire season.
Yeah, I think that's definitely most likely.
So moving
Game
on to
2,
Saturday,
John's boy, Riley Cooper. Yeah,
Riley Cooper. I'll be honest with you.
5 1/3.
I'll be honest with you. I did not expect him to perform that well.
Yeah, hitter.
He came in. I mean, that is what you need. That was what he was famous for last year, was eating up innings. And if you could do that as your starter, regardless of whether it's Saturday or Sunday, and just eat up innings, and even say you don't have your best day out there, that our team is talented enough to put up runs. So just manage. And he exceeded expectations.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely did. He threw 71 pitches, 2 walks, and 7 strikeouts. That's really efficient. Like you said, eating up innings, and whether he stays as a starter this entire year, maybe. But yeah, he definitely got the job done again against another team that was just overmatched. Western Michigan and Southern, who we saw so far. It's just it's a mismatch for sure, but it's getting off to a good start. We can only judge what we've seen so far. But it was great to see him.
I'm already doing it. I'm jumping the gun on these praises whenever we're playing teams. It's like say I don't know. I'll go ahead and admit this. It's like Catholic High playing LSU football. Like it's just two different, like two different games.
Yeah.
And Mr. Rexbeck came in. Bryce Collins only pitched a third of an inning. Kind of got eaten up. Gave up 2 runs. You know that that's going to happen, right?
Yeah, he'll be fine. He
You're
just
coming
didn't
in
have
cold.
it. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I don't expect that to be an issue. He's going to be a contributor on this team. And then the transfer, I believe Nate Ackenhausen came in, ate up the rest of the game. How do you, is it Ackenhausen?
I think you got it.
I
Yeah.
thought it was Atkinson at first, but then you get a double take and you're like,
shit.
wow, it's Ackenhausen.
4
syllables.
Yeah.
But came in, pitched pretty well, gave up a run, gave
got
up
the
a
save.
walk, but overall our pitching through the first, I mean, we only used 3 pitchers in 2 games, or 3 pitchers in each game. And they all came in and did pretty well, minus Collins, which we know he's going to be okay.
Struggled a little bit to hit it. Dugas, I think, got a homer. And then Jared Jones has been at DH the first 4 games. He's been great. Nothing more you can say about him. He crushed a ball in the Southern game that went 467 feet.
Another
was
massive
just absolutely obliterated. Yeah, he was huge. When we first got to the box, when we moved kind of closer in, we were like, damn, that dude's big.
Watching him stand next to our third base coach, it was just like, wow. Like, this is like Shaq and Kevin Hart standing next to each other.
Yeah. And then the other freshman, Paxton Kling, had a triple in the second game. So yeah, a lot of good young talent on display.
Yeah, and something I noticed about Paxton Kling whenever we were sitting there freezing our ass off on Friday is how fast he is. Like coming around the bag, he almost lapped the runner in front of him whenever somebody knocked in 2 runs. He is going to be massive for us, and the fact that he's only a freshman is very exciting, I guess, to me.
And it is weird. Last year we didn't have that team's like speed really that I felt like we usually have with Trey Morgan being banged up and them not really running crews much. But it's nice to see in game situations when they're able to get a pinch runner in. And who came in to run?
So
Merrifield. Did Mick Paul come in to run?
When Saturday?
Saturday? Yeah. I think so.
That's a very specific question.
Anyway, but there's guys that we have that they can stick in.
Yes. Paul did come in to run in the 8th inning.
Yeah. So if we need to run, there's different things that Jay can do. I think Milazzo came in, correct, to finish it out at catcher. He's just such a force behind the plate. But Brady Neal, who we haven't talked about yet, has been really good behind the plate. He's thrown multiple guys out so far this year and has been really solid back there. And he seems like he's going to be your starting catcher for, 80, 75% of the games.
Yeah. And I mean, it just seemed like for a couple years now that it's been hard to find a catcher that can actually walk the walk and talk the talk, meaning play behind the plate, stop the ball, no pass balls, throw people out, and bat. And it's like we said, the fact that he's a freshman, correct, is once again the theme of this weekend is excitement, right?
Yeah,
it's excitement for the weekend, it's excitement for the future of the program, but mainly the season. Like we have a guy that looks promising behind the plate, and it's like that was only one of the few things that we've been missing. Our pitching staff looked good for the most part. Catching looked good, and in the field, like you said, no errors, and our bats have been alive thus far. Like I said, like I asked Chris Reed, like I asked Peloso, we'll see what happens when SEC play comes around. But I mean, there's nothing but to be impressed with this team thus far. So getting on to Sunday when I believe you had your phone streaming the game while you were on the float. I believe you accidentally threw your phone because you thought it was a bead at Mardi Gras, but somebody was gracious enough to throw it back to you, and you gave him one of your trinkets. Like I think you had probably whenever we were loading the float, I saw the trinkets that you had. You had some good throws, but we're gonna get to that anyway. sorry, kind of went full circle there, but LSU 9-2, another beat down. I know the game, the Saturday game was a little bit closer, but just another beat down. LSU, the bats came alive in the fifth inning, really got to it. And it was all over from there. Kind of took a little while to bring some runs across the plate, short of the second inning whenever we scored one. But I think this is another example of our pitching staff. Sundays are generally whole staff. If you don't have a clear cut Sunday guy, I think Chase Shores, being a young guy, going 3 1/3, gave up 2 hits, 1 run, 1 earned, and gave up 2 walks, had 2 strikeouts. So, but the promise is there.
It's great to get him out there. I mean, his stuff looked pretty solid, and throws it hard. Big old dude, filled out for a freshman. But yeah, I think the control was maybe a little bit of an issue from seeing some tweets, but I didn't watch the game. So I did not stream it. Unfortunately, I could barely send a text message out there.
Can you imagine though if you're sitting there watching and you accidentally throw your phone to some drunk?
We'd have to have like Starlink on the float to stream it.
Yeah, you'd have, on Star. Yeah. You'd have to call like find my on iPhone or whatever. But it's like we said. I don't know. I'm just saying the same thing over and over. Like the promise is there. We're
Sammy Dutton came in through the rest of that inning, and then Ty Floyd came in and looked nice. Everyone said that Ty was kind of working in both pitches, or 2 to 3 pitches, which is good to hear. I saw a couple like video overlays of him throwing, but everyone said he looked really good. Then Blake Money came in to close it out, and I think you could see them try to work Blake Money into a little bit of a closer role.
How crazy is that he was our starter last year?
Yeah, and that can happen. I mean, you think you have a guy who's capable of giving you a couple really good innings, and then he kind of loses command, but he has really good stuff for a few innings, and I think you definitely try to get him in a role, because he obviously had some talent.
Yeah, and he does need to. I know last year he kind of got away with it, but he does need to kind of embrace and bring back the Kenny Powers look.
Yeah,
and
he slimmed down. Too. Yeah,
it's a vibe. Yeah, like maybe he needs to put on a few
crawfish season. We got it. It's coming up.
Crawfish season. Head on over to the House Bar in Tigerland. Yes. So more of the same from this team. I do believe this weekend, like you mentioned, Luffy playing Kansas State and Texas and Iowa and Sam Houston. Maybe not them so much, but I definitely think that this weekend is going to be a bit more of a challenge. Last year, Texas, I believe, when we played them in the Shriners Classic, was number 1, and I do not see what their ranking is right now. This is telling me.
Hold on. Let's see.
Either way, all that
we play Texas Tuesday.
Yes. No, I know, but it's all part of the same. It's all part of the same Round Rock Classic or whatever you want to call it.
Is it?
I'm kind of It
doesn't say that by.
It doesn't say it by.
The game's in Austin.
Yeah, and then near Round Rock.
Well, the rest of the games aren't in.
Okay, maybe I'm just really wrong, but that's just very random to play a midweek game.
I think we're probably going to stay out there, I would assume.
Okay, well, it had to have been part of that, right?
I don't think that it is, but maybe I'm wrong. Well, anyway, it doesn't matter.
I've been wrong before, so I'm not too worried about it. But
Southern game.
All that to say, yes, in a second. But all that to say, we got to iron out, a couple of the issues. Tommy Tanks has to rehab, do whatever he's got to do to get right. Don't put him back in too early. It's not worth it. We have the guys to get through this pre-SEC play, and other than that, I mean, it's all manageable stuff. Like even from what you can tell, it's what.
I had a team that I bet when they're down. They were just up 7, and then I check it again, they're down.
I thought your phone wasn't loaded.
They were up
for
9.
Some LSU stat or some. I'm sorry to hear that. I really am sorry to hear that. All right, so let's clean up the weekend before we get to the midweek, since we are in the midweek.
Yep, you got to call Martini. We got St. Patrick's Day coming up. If you need a porta potty, I think they're running a special. I think it's like $150 for the day. If you need a porta potty for your St. Patrick's Day party, look, they're the best in the business.
Parade
They're the
float.
cleanest. Yep, parade float. Anything you might need it for. You need a dumpster. You're having a bunch of people over. Call Martine at Workbox. It's 225-343-4886. They got storage containers, portable offices, portable restroom rentals, roll-off dumpsters. Call Martine at Workbox. It's 225-343-4886.
All right. Let's get to the Southern game. I'm gonna paint a picture for you. It is, I actually didn't even realize that the Southern game had at some point or another gotten switched to 2:00. I know it was like during the weekend or before that or whatever, but all that to say, I was honestly kind of chuckling when LSU went down 4-0. Like I thought it was kind of funny in the sense that here we go. Here we go with the midweek games. The conversation right off the bat in Alex Box against Southern in-state school midweek game. Here we go. We're about to do this already, and everybody's going to freak out.
Yeah, I think I actually have the tweet here pulled up. When we went down 4-0, I quote tweeted Glenn West. That's his name? Yeah, Glenn West's tweet saying that we were in the 4-0 hole, and I was like, I'm glad to be down early. Let's see what we got now.
I even made a joke. I made a joke to a guy at work. I mean, we all had it on one screen at work because it's like, Mardi Gras day.
Yeah.
Not everybody's trying not to work too hard, getting rid of the hangover and all that. But,
sure.
But we go down 4-0 and you're sitting there watching it like, okay. And then I joked to a guy at work. I said, live bet LSU, do it. I don't care what it is. Take the line. And I didn't do it, but I should have.
Did you have it?
No. I should have.
Like available? Like did you?
I didn't even look. But all that to say, if I would have done it, I would have cashed the bet and it would have been the easiest money ever.
It probably would have been like -400 still.
Well,
maybe you would have taken like -5.5 or something like that.
I would have
still
taken.
If it was
-400, I'd have just pulled 400,000 out of my checking account. Yeah, and
hear that, ladies?
Right. It's funny because if you actually saw my checking account, you'd be appalled. Anyway, more like $40. All right. So you think everything's going bad. You think we're screwed. You think midweek games do matter, whatever. And then LSU explodes for 5. And then all of a sudden we scored every inning until the 6th, which they only played 7 innings. We scored 5 runs in 3 out of the 7 innings, the 3rd, 6th, and the 3rd, 5th, and the 6th, and 3 in the 4th for a total score of 18-4. The big story out of the day is Trey Morgan hitting for the cycle. Yeah. And the craziest part about it is that it was in order. Yeah. I mean, how do you can't write that enough. Like, I can't imagine, like, Trey Morgan, whenever he walked up to the plate the 4th time, knew that he had to hit a home run, and he did it. Do you realize how hard that is to, like, say that you need to hit a home run and then do it? Like, how did the pitcher that was thrown against him not be like, all right, either one, walk this guy because he's hot. He's got a single, a double, and a triple off of me. And 2, don't leave it up over the plate or whatever. I mean, I didn't see the exact pitch, but I'm just saying, like, do not pitch it right down the gut and let him nail it out the park.
For something like that to happen, not trying to discredit him at all, but you need some luck. Like the first good single, good hit, which was his first of the year. Second one, not kind of blooped in, got in between the outfielder and then the third baseman. And then the third one, 2 guys kind of running, hit right in the gap. Neither of them could commit to the ball and drops right between them. He gets the third. And then the 4th time, he blasts a home run. So
I'm pretty sure. I mean, a triple's the hardest thing to
get. Yes, a triple's a triple, but like, it was, I mean, incredible. Good to see him get hot.
Aggressor luck. Yeah, I wouldn't call it luck. I'd say chance. And he was the aggressor in the fight.
Yeah, and there's nothing lucky about the last home run, but the triple and then the single, double that got down for him, which was kind of just dropped in, was a fortunate break. And I didn't realize it at the time. After he hit the triple, I didn't realize it. And then
when because nobody said it.
Yeah, no one said anything. Great job by the broadcast. But Jared Jones also hit a bomb. It was crushed 470 feet. Joe Bear bomb. Brady Neal threw, I think, 2 guys out. Christian Little came in, looked good. And I thought that not Skeens, Thatcher Hurd struggled with his command, walked too many guys. I don't know if you were watching that, John, but he seemed a little excited. Everything was high at first, and just they were sitting on fastball after that, knowing that he was going to have to throw something right down the middle and try to get something in for a strike. But I think he'll be fine. Little nerves, little jitters. I expect him to come back and pitch well. It's not like he was throwing 85 right down the middle. It was coming out. Stuff looked solid. It's just his breaking ball looked decent, but he's going to have to locate it better.
Well, it is interesting that how Jay Johnson kind of almost like forecasted that Thatcher Hurd needed a little bit of work. Like last week, he wasn't in the starting rotation. Everybody was a little surprised that Riley Cooper was the Saturday guy for opening weekend. Everybody kind of, at least in my mind, and I believe in yours, we might have thought that Thatcher Hurd was going to end up being a weekend starter in opening weekend. Obviously, he's a young guy. He's got some work to do. But Jay Johnson said it last week. He said this team cannot be successful. I forget the exact phrasing he used, but he said this team, for them to be successful, Thatcher Hurd will be mixing into the weekend rotation. But this week he needed some more development.
Yeah.
And it's very just interesting to me how Jay Johnson, I guess, can see that so clearly. And his command wasn't there, but I mean, dude, first time pitching in D1 baseball.
No, he pitched at UCLA last year.
No, wait. Okay, sorry, I got confused. First time pitching in the box.
Yeah,
like on the number 1 team. Stakes are high. He's gonna be fine. Are you okay, dude? Quit checking your bets, dude. We're podcasting.
I can't believe they lost this game. I'm also checking LSU. We're about to win our first game in 2023 basketball. So I was going to update on that. We'll have breaking news, and yeah, I think Thatcher will calm down. I think he'll be all right. He's coming off a back injury or back injury. So
neck, back, maybe.
John, if you have any tips for him.
Maybe it's crack. I don't know.
That would be helpful. But anyway, I'm looking forward to this weekend. Hopefully we'll learn a little bit more about what we got.
All right. I think opening weekend was recapped. It wasn't our best recap ever, given that Mardi Gras was this past weekend. But one thing's for certain, we ain't slowing down. We are ready for this baseball season. Fantastic weather, like you said, Saturday and Sunday, Luffy, and even for the Tuesday game against Southern. What are you doing now?
Nothing.
You putting a hockey game on?
Over. No, it's not hockey.
Dude, we have a responsibility as podcasters to give it our all while we're podcasting, and then we place bets later. I'm just kidding. I don't really care if you watch it or not. But all right, to kind of clean up, I know we already used Workbox to clean up, but I'm thinking about heading over to the house bar.
Saw Casey this weekend. He rode in Toth. He looked ecstatic in the morning when we saw him.
He looked like he was ready to take on the day.
Also, if you see Casey wearing his OTB hat, please compliment him on that. He loves it. And we finally got him in a hat.
Yeah, we were hanging out with him after the game on Friday night, and it was just like, hey, do y'all have any hats? And you were like, yeah, I got one in the truck. And it was just like that. And then he put it on more for the rest of the night.
Yep.
And so, yes, shout out to Casey and Jeff over there.
And we do have a couple hats left, not many, but if y'all want a hat, let me know.
Yes. Head on over to the house bar in Tigerland. It is the springtime. Crawfish, beer, sports, you name it. Make it your home this spring. Head on over to the house bar in Tigerland. Follow them on Twitter at Tigerland House and on Facebook and Instagram at House in Tigerland. Also on houseintigerland.com. Luffy. So we saw a few people after the game on Friday night.
Yes.
Shout out Mr. Carl the Cat.
Shout out the cat.
It's been a long time since we've seen him, and he's just as stoked as we are about LSU baseball season starting. And we saw Lynn Rollins, the GOAT, after just getting done, dude, you gotta you gotta chill out.
I'm listening.
What's happening?
No, we just airballed the 3 to tie the game. I thought it was going in. I'm trying to check on LSU at the same time.
We'll have to clip a video of you like trying to follow your bets, and it just seems like none of them are going well.
I was trying to will that one in.
Anyway,
LSU's winning. Chill.
Anyway, Lynn Rollins, when we saw him, we said, "Hey, Lynn, what's going on? Great, great job on the broadcast." And he said, "Man, I swear it was colder than Tim Howard's head out there." Tim Howard being the goalie from the U.S. men's national team, and he was bald.
He was awesome. He was like, "Shout out to the youngins who know who I am." He was happy that we knew who he was, and John was going back and forth with all the sayings with him.
I was trying to get him to come on the podcast, but I didn't want to come on too strong. He had just broadcast 9 innings of baseball with Ben McDonald, and now we know where he hangs out after the games. So next time that we see him, we're going to try to get him on. That would be electric. Would that not be electric to get
That'd be
him
great.
on the podcast? But we'd have to like set up the Zoom call for him, and like we'd honestly have to go show up to his house and like
just bring the equipment.
Just tell him to sit down and hold the microphone. But yeah, I thought it was interesting that it's not just on TV that he uses these analogies. It's just like in his everyday life. Like, can you imagine how many
walking around
different like analogies, like a fire ant on a fever blister, or some of his other good ones he uses, like when he goes to check out at Winn-Dixie or like drives through Taco Bell.
Yeah, he's got to be just a fun guy to hang around. He was very happy that John noticed him and was able to throw a few of his sayings back at him.
Yes. All right, let's get to a little mini LSU football segment. Luffy, although we weren't with Malik Neighbors down in New Orleans, we if we would have been, then this probably wouldn't have happened, right? Got in a little bit of trouble, had a firearm. I don't know the full details.
Charges drop. It's already over with. He was just carrying up his gun without a permit. And that's it. But it's over with.
And that's it. That's your little LSU mini football segment.
Nate Oakes, Alabama head basketball coach, scumbag. Let's just say that.
All right.
Go ahead and say that. You want to say something bad about him?
He's not a good coach because he coaches at Bama. Even though Bama's pretty good this year. So they're decent.
Yeah.
They're better than our team. So you can't.
Breaking news. The LSU Fighting Tigers have just won their first game in 2023. They beat Vanderbilt 84-77. What a morale boost for the young men.
After just getting beat down.
They have not won a game in 2 months, John. They haven't won one in 2023. So, look, we close out Ole Miss. We beat Ole Miss to end the season. And
we head on into the NCAA tournament ready to rock and roll. Not. But, all right. Shout out DraftKings, the official sports betting partner of Boot Crew Media. Enter promo code BOOT, bet just $5 and get $200 in free bets if your team wins. It's promo code BOOT, bet just $5, get $200 in free bets if your team wins. 21 plus restrictions apply. See show notes for details.
Also, are
you going to say what I'm going to say?
No, I'm not going to celebrate early, but if I were going to celebrate early, I would say that everyone needs to issue me an apology about Jordan Thompson. But I'm not going to celebrate early. It's only been 4 games.
Everybody needs to tell you that?
Yeah. I had to defend him. I had to defend him against my roommates. I had to defend him against people texting me. I kept the receipts, John. I have real receipts.
I'm glad you're keeping tabs on that. But like we did say.
But it's early. We're not going to celebrate.
Right.
But if I would, I would say everyone please apologize.
Okay, so you basically just did. But if we were to, we're not going to. If we thought about it, we weren't going to. But lots of baseball left to play. Big weekend coming up. I count the Tuesday game as as part of the weekend. So, although it is not, but we do need to beat Kansas State, revenge game, and we do need to beat Texas because that is a revenge game as well for the beatdown they took when we traveled to Houston to play in the Shriners Classic. All right. Another thing we didn't mention, I didn't get to watch the fight either, but AJ Fletcher got another UFC win this past weekend. I bet you
Hell
didn't even
yeah.
know he was fighting.
Hell yeah, I did know he's fighting.
He apparently, I didn't see the knockout. I've been so focused on recovering from Mardi Gras that I haven't got to watch the highlights. But we'll have to get him on pretty soon to recap his win in the UFC. I think he's back. Is it too late to say that he's back?
No, absolutely not. He's back.
It's never too late to be back. All right. Luffy, tips for next Mardi Gras. I had a blast, by the way. Shout out to all the people who saw us riding along the Toth route.
I think I want to buy like more shirts to throw next year.
More shirts?
A bunch of shirts to throw next year because people like those.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, the beads are classic, right?
Yeah.
But I think I'm gonna get some shirts made that of something. Maybe we can get out the box shirts. How about that? We'll just grow our fan base. And then the same people who catch these shirts will be listening to us ramble like we are right now. Bye. Thank you guys so much for listening. Shout out to House Bar in Tigerland, Workbox LLC, Blaine Lube with Keller Williams Realty. You also want you to know that Keller Williams is an equal opportunity housing partner. Each office is independently owned and operated. DraftKings and the Boot Crew Media Network. Happy Mardi Gras, happy baseball season, happy House in Tigerland season. You name it. It is a great time of year, and we could not be more excited to keep this train rolling.